behind the goal, filling both tiers, clapping now, and indeed the Millwall fans around me are clapping because it's been an excellent FA Cup tie. It really has. Two teams, much change, particularly Leicester City. 8 changes this afternoon, and at times there was maybe a lack of fluency, particularly in that first half, but going forward as the game progressed, they have been really impressive. They scored 3 goals, might have scored more. And Matt Elliott, your man of the match, please, and your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, it's a thoroughly enjoyable game, wasn't it, from start to finish. Some good quality out there as well, some bizarre goings on as well on occasions, but like Millwall coming off there, relatively pleased with how they played. The fans have given them, quite rightly so, a very warm reception at the end. So, so I've just seen an old friend in a minute on that one. Blast from the past, sorry, disrupted me. But I thought Leicester deservedly came out on top, but it was enthralling, and it could have gone this way and that way at many different junctures. But man of the match, I thought Tom Cannon was excellent, sharp, could have got one, could have got 2, 3. Connor Cody, excellent defensive work. But for me, the standout figure, not for necessarily his finesse or when he was in possession so much, although he marshalled it quite well, but for his defensive work and his application and standing in for the immaculate Harry Winks, I thought Hamza Chowdhury gets the nod for me.
Good shout. Hamza Chowdhury, man of the match. He is among those Leicester players who are still in the penalty area away to my left-hand side, applauding the terrific following that have made their way down from Leicester. So, another win for Leicester City. They've ripped it up in the Championship, and it's 1 from 1 now in the FA Cup, thanks to Cassidy, Ricardo and Tom Cannon. A home draw now, please, in the 4th round. Millwall 2, Leicester 3.
Yes, Leicester City through to the 4th round of the FA Cup, thanks to that 3-2 victory over Millwall this afternoon. The same scoreline that it was, of course, against the Lions here at King Power Stadium in the Championship in December. Welcome along to our post-match show here on Matchday Live on Fox's Hub with me, Dan Bates. Matt Elliott will still be with us down in London, and we've got David Nugent, FA Cup winner David Nugent, need I remind you again, and League Cup winner Jerry Taggart sat alongside him on the sofa, and a successful day for the Foxes.
Yeah, the plan was, to get through to the next round. They've done that. It was a bit shaky towards the end, conceding the goal towards the end, and then obviously Fleming's free kick there, almost going in, back post, but they managed to hang on, deservedly so. Cannon getting on the score sheet again, so good day all round into the next round. Positive performance. Hopefully a home draw, like Guy said as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I pretty much echo what Nugent's been saying. The FA Cup 3rd round it's literally all about getting through. You don't expect. I'm saying you don't expect, but we've been looking at the scores from some other games. It's just been a goal fest, hasn't it, in some of the games, and 5-goal thriller here. Leicester over the line into the next round. Yes, Matt sort of summed it up as well. Some questionable moments in the game as far as Leicester are concerned, but overall, lots of positives to take out. The goals, Tom Cannon continuing his run, some of the young lads coming on and starting as well. Lots of positives moving on.
Yeah, there are a few positives, aren't they, to draw? A couple of negatives as well, which we'll maybe get to during Matchday Live. But overall, we'll remain as positive as we can be, and that's that Leicester are in the hat for the next round.
Yeah, and that was the aim from the start. There was changes. Enzo did rest a few of his best players. But the lads who have come in have done a job. Cassidy come in, goal and assist for him. You expect him to take Wolves' team in the team, playing the full 90 minutes. Getting that under his belt is important, because the Championship games come thick and fast. So he's got his minutes under his belt, and hopefully he can carry on that form. Yunus coming in, a few nice tidy touches. Young lads, Marcel, I thought he struggled a little bit, in defensive areas, giving the ball away. But he's positive going forward. Ben Nelson I thought was excellent, other than conceding the 2 goals from set plays. He looks assured at the back. So yeah, a positive all round for Enzo. He managed to rest his best players, and they come away with a victory into the next round.
Matt Elliott, you've been on co-commentary duty for us. It very nearly was a replay right at the very end, wasn't it? That free kick just narrowly going wide. Have we got Matt? Well, we'll come back to Matt, hopefully, when we get him
What's happened
again.
to Matt?
He's halfway up the M1 again, Jerry, isn't he?
He's
Stuck in traffic.
another hot dog.
Yeah, we'll get Matt whenever we get the chance. But obviously, Jerry, let's, same question to you. That Millwall very nearly nicked an equaliser right at the end, when Leicester actually arguably should have had a penalty.
Oh,
I
I forgot about that. I mean, I was remonstrating at the TV. How the referee
the lines
missed that, or the assistant referee has missed that, I'll never know. I mean, and there's the assistant referee has a really good view. It's on his side, the pitch. How he can miss that push on Tom Cannon, I just do not know. But
it's so obvious and blatant.
Oh, ridiculous. I mean, but then you see the other. We're just seeing the replay, aren't we, of Tom Cannon's goal? What a ball from Callum Doyle. And 5 minutes earlier, I'm going, I think it might be time for Callum to come on. He looks a bit tired. He's done well. Let's get it. And then he pulls that off our pass, top drawer pass, and another great finish for Tom Cannon. But yeah, they were dicing with death a little bit, Leicester, towards the end. But if that's not a penalty, I don't know what is.
I believe we now do have Matt Elliott to go to at the Den. Matt, we thought it could have been a hot dog. It could have been setting off on your way home this afternoon for an early finish. But no, you just had your microphone on mute, did you?
That's not the total truth, to be honest. Well, I was contemplating shooting off early because it's a fair old journey. I bumped into, I'm going to show my lack of professionalism now. I bumped into two old school, old family friends I haven't seen for about 30 years. And I got embroiled in a little bit of a kiss and a cuddle with them. So I got distracted with the question again. Sorry, Batesy. Apologies for that.
Not an image that's easy to swallow, that one.
Well, there was cuddling, not kissing.
It was about Millwall nearly equalising at the end, and Leicester really should have had a penalty. But they rode their luck a couple of times today, didn't they, Leicester? But the main thing is that they got the victory. Yeah,
the game sort of toed and froed a little bit, didn't it? 1 minute you thought, Leicester got the 2-goal advantage, that's it, they'll cruise their way through, but it didn't quite go to plan, not today anyway, and it was, you couldn't quite predict which way it was going to end up. Even at 3-1, as Millwall showed, they've just got the 1 goal, and then all of a sudden they're piling a bit of pressure on. They let Leicester off the hook with not putting that corner in. Eventually cleared, with a cross that came in too flat. But it kept us all on the edge of our seats, put it that way, right until the very end. But it was entertaining stuff, and some good football played by both teams as well. Millwall sort of transformed themselves under the new manager, and Leicester, as always, play very attractive style, don't they? And it was good the way the two teams come up against each other and made for an exciting game. The penalty, when I saw it, listen, at the angle I saw it, I thought 100% like the boys. But you seen it on a replay? Is it?
Oh, it's 100%.
Yeah, it seemed that way, and I thought the referee gave a foul against Tom Cannon, didn't he?
Yeah.
For simulation.
He went down and handballed.
No, I think he handballed it.
Oh, okay.
Assuming he was getting the penalty. Which
Right,
got you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We think anyway.
Yeah, that makes sense, because otherwise I thought the yellow card might have been produced, or should have been. But no, it looked a penalty all day long. But I don't know. It made an interesting 5 final minutes, didn't it? But thankfully, Leicester prevailed, and all is well.
Yeah, Leicester deserved to win the game. They created the better chances. If they had scored 3 goals in the second half, no one would have batted an eyelid. So they created chances throughout the game. It's just when you see things like that happening, again from the set pieces, and it just leaves a slightly bitter taste in the mouth, so to speak. That's the only negative that you take out of this game is the frailties yet again from set pieces. Other than that, as I say, it could have been 4-5-2.
Yeah, their keeper made a few good saves. Obviously, he made one off Tom Cannon, didn't he? Which never got given a corner. Somebody's tipped it round the post.
Very good save, that.
Very good save, that one. And then he had another one where the keep straight at the keeper. You know, so and Albrighton as well had a shot with the rebound off Cannon shot as well. So we had the chances to increase the league, the penalty opportunity. You know, so we had chances to kill the game off. It's just that every time there was a set play or a corner, should I say, you know, Leicester looked a bit frail there, and you know, obviously scoring the 2 goals from that. You know, it's a bit of Achilles' heel at the moment.
And it seems to be carrying on. They do this zonal marking, and you know, under the previous manager, that was brought in, the zonal mark, and they struggled with that as well. And under Enzo, they've gone through the zonal marking system, and they seem to be struggling with that as well in the Championship to a certain degree. And so it's obviously an area of concern that, you know, somehow they need to arrest it and put it to bed, and it's just becoming a bit of a struggle at the minute.
Yeah, that'll be the one disappointment, Matt, won't it? With the fact that there were 2 goals conceded, both of them coming, well, from corners again, and we saw that one against Huddersfield on New Year's Day was as well.
Which is, you know, not something you want creeping into your sort of psyche, really. If it happens a little bit more regularly, you know, all of a sudden can become an issue. I haven't had the luxury of seeing a replay of either goal, actually, but you know, it was a little bit of sort of confusion there. The first one, Mark Albrighton stayed on the line when others seemed to push up. Now, I'm not sure if that was intentional or not, but you're running the risk of playing strikers or opposition players onside, as they did with Watmore there, Albrighton being on the line. Otherwise, the flag might have gone up. So there needs to be a bit more sort of, you know, collective cohesion and the same level of thinking. Second, I don't know, you boys would have seen it better than me, but I don't know how he ended up with so much space. Did he make a run from like far post and looped out of the crowd?
He's peeled from the back.
He's peeled from the back.
Peeled off. And, you know, everyone's facing the ball, not seeing what's behind him. I think Dewsbury Hall was looking around in astonishment, saying, "How did that happen?" But it's sort of his zone to deal with as well. So that needs to be looked at. I think, to be fair, I mean, listen, makeshift is the wrong word, but obviously there were a lot of changes. So there's a little bit of a sort of, you know, a few teething problems settling in. But I don't think Maresca will be like overly happy with the amount of situations that Millwall created. Ultimately, it was more often not good defending, like last-ditch blocks, etc., and covering angles for Stalacic to make the save quite comfortably. But on the turnover, Millwall were getting at Leicester far too deeply, you know, too further forward than, you know, would be comfortable. They addressed it. Jerry mentioned it at half time. I think Hamza did an exceptional job sort of adjusting his role a bit. But yeah, there was good and not so good there, wasn't there? You know, things to be looked at, but that's always the case, particularly with Maresca.
Did I hear right, Matt? Did you give man of the match to Hamza this afternoon?
I did. I don't know what the general consensus on that one in the studio is.
I thought you were going to say you don't know what you were thinking about.
Well, I rarely do, Tags. You know that, mate. You know that. But no, I just thought, maybe, I don't know if it came across when you're watching it on screen or whatever, but certainly live, he had a bit of a presence about him today, Hamza. Not so much the first 15 minutes or so, because, you know, Millwall started well, didn't they? And you're thinking, do you know, that little bit of nous that Harry Winks shows, or that big bit of nous, might be missing today. But I thought Hamza grew into the role, perhaps with a bit of cajoling from Cody behind him. But he was here, there and everywhere, Hamza, certainly in defensive quarters, and did some great covering work defensively rather than, you know, his distribution.
One of them in particular was brilliant, wasn't it? Where he literally, well, pretty much stopped a goal, didn't he?
Yeah, he got himself in front of the defender, didn't he? When Watmore cut inside and Hamza used his body to protect the ball, and he Stalacic come out and pick the ball up. So, you know, he vital role of, you know, stopping the wall, getting another goal.
Yeah, no, as Matty said, he was a real presence. He might not have been the cutting edge going forward, but in a game like today where the opposition, you know, brought something to the table in an attacking sense, he was that steadying influence in the middle of the park. And as we're saying, as Dave's just spoke about, you know, when he was needed at the crunch moments, he was right in there in the thick of it.
Yeah, the Leicester fans, we've put a poll out on LCFC's Twitter account or X account, whatever it is now, Cesare Casadei's got 77% of the vote.
Yeah.
He got a goal, didn't he? He got
Goal and
the assist. Could easily have had another assist to Tom Cannon.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just dropped off a lovely ball to Tom Cannon for that shot that went straight at the keeper. That was a lovely little touch again. Good awareness, quick thinking, and pulled it off with a lovely layoff. So yeah, I get that.
Yeah, we don't see the dirty work that Hamza does on the telly, do we? So when Matty says it's different live, because you can see him on the pitch where he is, where the camera's, where the ball is.
You mean when we're eating a burrito?
Yeah. So obviously Hamza's controlling, in front of that defence, so he's got to basically run either side which the ball's on, and obviously under the instruction of Conor Cody behind him, giving loads of instructions. We don't see that, but obviously Matty can from a different angle.
Yeah, Matt's expert eye in the stand down there at Millwall. But yeah, a word on Cesare Casadei, Matt. We spoke at half-time about it. We spoke before the game in the studio here about how he's got an important role now this second half of the season, with Wilfred Ndidi being out for at least a couple of months. Yeah,
big opportunity for him, isn't it? Yeah, to step up to the plate, and I thought it was his best game by some distance, without a doubt, in terms of not just the assist and the goal, but that sort of boosted his confidence. He was scoring early. You saw an extra bit of confidence in him. I thought he was more positive with his play. He was sort of more robust, even sort of in an aggressive sense. It's as if he felt part of the mix genuinely. I think Yunus is nearly there. Got a little way to go maybe. He just gets a bit frustrated with himself. With how things are going for him, and Casadei also as well. You see him a lot of times with his head, looking to the clouds, just say, "Oh, nearly, but not quite." But I thought he was, he was more complete today. He was more assured and more positive as well. He was, when he was having a strike a goal, he was meaning it. It wasn't a gesture or a little scuffed, half-hit effort. He was really sort of putting his foot through it, even on his weaker left foot, etc. And he fancied the opportunities that were coming his way, and I thought it was better. There was more belief in his performance, I felt, today, and fair play, he got a decent reward out of it, didn't he?
Yeah, it's a big 6 months for him.
Yeah, massive now, especially after this game. You'll gain a lot of confidence from this game. Obviously the goal, getting into the box for the header back post, wanted to win it more than the defender, towered over him. Got Leicester all up and running, and then obviously the assist, a great little touch, to Ricky Pereira to get on the end of who put it away, and then you said it earlier, the touch into Cannon, just a nice little soft little touch into Cannon's path. Didn't have to break stride, it was straight into his path to have a touch and have a shot. So yeah, I thought he was solid. He showed he needs an engine, to get back and forth, and he did look a bit tired towards the end, but these minutes will be vital for him for the games coming up.
He showed a side of his game today that we probably haven't seen before. I'm not saying we didn't know he had, but we probably haven't seen it, and that was those little deft touches for the goal and for that chance for Cannon, and we haven't really seen that. We know he likes to make those late runs from the edge of the box when the ball's in wide areas to try and get on the end of, and I know he likes to move forward with a ball. But those deft little touches that we've just seen an added quality that he has to his game.
That will give him confidence, you assume.
Without a doubt.
Being a young player,
and like you say, it's
old.
important. With Ndidi being out for the length of time we think he is, then it's massively important for him that he grows into that position now. And this game today will obviously help him on his way.
Absolutely. Do you think it will be him, Matt, that will be the natural replacement, if you like, for Wilfred Ndidi in the coming weeks?
I think he'll get first bite of the apple, if that's the right term. He'll get the first chance to slot in there with Ndidi out for a little while. But I think, there are arguments for, I don't know, depending on the game and scenario and the opponents, whatever. Yunus and Casadei are quite contrasting individuals, aren't they? Both in stature and style of play. So there's a couple of options there, as for Maresca as he sees fit. But also, I think I mentioned it in the commentary. Ricardo Pereira could also play in that advanced role. As a different option. Maresca doesn't have to resign himself, I don't think, to to just one or the other. More likely Cassidy, I suppose, if you're going to liken him to Wilfred and Ndidi at all. But you know, if it's not working, he's not obligated to persist with one of them, because there are other possible options there. But yeah, it's still got a little bit of way to go, because without doubt, Ndidi and Dewsbury Hall, along with Winks, you know, that is sort of set in stone pretty much, isn't it now? That midfield trio, we know what a force they are. A big task for someone to come in and fill Wilfred's shoes, the way he's been playing this season. But you know, signs today that Cassidy's getting a little bit closer to that sort of level.
Yeah, I was just about to say, the option is to move Ricardo into that number 8 role. He's got on the score sheet today. Yeah. And you bring Hamza in alongside Harry Winks. We've seen that in the past. So there's options of moving people around and bringing people in. So, you know, something for Enzo to think about.
Yeah, how do you see it going?
I think Cassidy is going to play. He's got the stature as well, and you know, for set players again.
Fresh off the back of that particular.
You got Vestergaard and Fast will probably come back in. You know, give more height into the team as well. You know, because we've seen long balls going to Cassidy because he's got that about him. You know, he's good in the air. So I think that, you know, stature-wise, him or Yunus, you know, I think Cassidy will get it just because it's bigger, stronger, you know, and he can be a threat going forward as well.
Yeah, there was the goal of Rotherham, wasn't it? The game just before Christmas. Cassidy came off the bench, scored in that one as well. That's obviously given him a little bit of impetus, a little bit of confidence. Yeah,
well, it does. I think, you know, the way Enzo plays, he's expecting goals from midfield, and a lot of goals, not just the one here and one there, or a lot of goal involvements, which we've seen from, you know, Wilfred and Ndidi with those inside forward runs and then clipping the ball to the back post and players coming in and banging them into the net. So it's an important role, that attacking midfield number 8 role. And you have to get involved in the play going forward, and you have to produce by scoring goals or assisting goals. And today, you know, he's done an amazing job.
A week away now, Matt, until that next game, Coventry away. A bit of a local derby, of course. The supporters will love to win that one, but it's the end of the festive period, really, isn't it? When the FA Cup third round comes, the first weekend of January, you know you've got a bit of a break before that next game. So Enzo will be pleased that he can start getting a few players back and work on the training ground in terms of things like whether it's Cassidy, whether it's Chowdhury, and how they might move forward.
Yeah, I'm sure he's set the wheels in motion, probably even in pre-season, really looking at, you know, options. Mark Albrighton said in his interview in the build-up, didn't he, that all the players within the squad are intermixed, you know, in different scenarios, so they're all aware of what their roles are. But yeah, it's almost like sort of 2 steps forward and 1 back occasionally, isn't it, on the injury front? Seems to be the way, but Leicester have the numbers to deal with it, you know, whatever the scenario. Yeah, we've spoken many times about the depth of the squad, but yeah, it's different sort of phases, isn't it? Because at one stage, you know, Callum Doyle at the start of the season, he was one of the main men, if not, you know, the top performer. And then all of a sudden he's out, but Leicester learn to cope, you know, without individuals. There's going to be a number of them out soon. You know, with the AFCON situation, plus injuries as well. So, but I wouldn't say Leicester down to the bare bones at all. You know, whatever team they put out today, that was pretty much it's not the right term, but a second string, if you like. I know that sounds a bit harsh, but you know, a replacement 11 almost is still strong enough to get results at the likes of here today. But such are the resources at Maresca's disposal. But I think whichever scenario, I think Leicester have got enough to cope with it. You know, they'll slightly adjust how they play, maybe. And David's just mentioned it about Cassidy. They know his attributes, and they'll play accordingly. You know, they'll deliver different types of balls into the box and maximise his potential. So, yeah, I've got no real concerns about Leicester going forward, regardless of injury front.
Let's talk about Tom Cannon, because he deserves us to talk about him, doesn't he, after his last 2 games. Nuge, we said before the game, a lot of similarities between you as a player, Tom Cannon as a player. We've seen again, took his goal brilliantly.
Yeah, fantastic finish, you know, to have the awareness of the keeper coming out as well, to touch it round them. We've got to give Callum Doyle a big mention as well for the assist. We just thought he was clearing his lines, didn't we, at one point?
Great ball.
And obviously, when the camera zooms in, you see Tom Cannon, running over the top, playing on the shoulder of the defenders. The keeper sold himself. He's come out too early. Tom Cannon's at the casual touch, around him to put it into an empty net, and that keeps us goal scoring going. As strikers, you want to score goals, you want to create chances, and when you get an open goal like that, and get on the score sheet, there's no better feeling. But he could have had a lot more as well.
Yeah, he could. I was going to say, if he could have walked off a hat trick today, without a shadow of a doubt. Obviously, he'll be over the moon with his goal. I mean, he's done all the hard work in the build-up, and which I'm not saying the finish was easy. It wasn't, but Dave's already spoken about, the run, the touch to get it past the keeper, and where he's put it into the space in front of him as well. In the area of the pitch. So yes, it's a tight angle, but it's not that tight that it makes it almost impossible, or the odds are stacked against him. So it's still a good chance, and then it's a calm, cool finish. You can see that the defender's running back to try and save it. So the purchase on the ball to get it into the back, and absolutely spot on. So yeah, well done him.
I mean, listen, Matt, we don't know how long Kelechi Iheanacho's injured for. We don't know how long Jamie Vardy's injured for. Patson Daka could obviously be gone for as long as Zambia do well in the African Cup of Nations, of course. So you look at the games that Leicester have got coming up: Coventry away, Ipswich at home. That could be a big game. Swansea away. Then you're at Stoke, Watford into February. Tom Cannon knows he's got a lot of football ahead of him.
Yeah, there's every chance, especially with the way he's playing. I mean, he looks, well, on this season's form, he looks the pick of the bunch, doesn't he, out of the four. A lot of people were sort of questioning, not necessarily his signing, but the fact that Leicester have four out-and-out strikers, pretty much, if you include Iheanacho in that. I know he can play sort of a dual role. But, I think it's sort of like an overload, and but, as it's proven to be the case, it's a necessary overload, isn't it? The way things have panned out. And Tom Cannon is, obviously people have seen him, recognised his qualities. It took a while for them to come to the fore, for different reasons, injury and opportunity. But once the switch was like flicked, wasn't it, when he smashed that goal in last week? It just, that was the sign of someone who's a natural goal scorer for me, or natural eye for goal. Just bang, instinctively hit it, kept it low, driven it hard into the bottom corner, and from that moment onwards, I wouldn't say it was a light bulb moment, because he was doing it okay with the bits and pieces of time that he was getting, but all of a sudden you could see why Leicester spent the money they have and brought him from Everton. Listen, anything could happen for him. The way he's playing at the moment, if that continues, it's going to be difficult to oust whoever it is. Jamie Vardy, Kelechi Iheanacho, Patson Daka, whoever it is trying to get back in the team. They've got a big challenge ahead of him. Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Matt, for your company this afternoon. Safe travels back home. It's an early kick-off, so you should be home nice and early on this Saturday evening. Safe travels to all those Leicester fans, of course, as well, who've made that journey. Final point can go to you, Nujon. What's been a successful day, and hopefully we're sat here in 6 months talking about, you never know, a fairy tale FA Cup run that has started today.
Yeah, promotion to the Premier League, FA Cup, winners' medal. That'd be ideal, winner for all them Leicester fans and players involved. But I think the priority is the league. It's going really well. These cup runs are bonuses, but the bread and butter is the Championship and top of the league into the next round. What more can you ask for?
And we'll see what happens in the draw, of course, for the FA Cup, which takes place later this weekend. Thank you to Nuj, to Jerry Taggart as well for your company this afternoon as well. On FA Cup weekend, the first weekend of January always is for this competition, and Leicester City are through to the 4th round. Have a great day, everybody.